Hey everybody, I'm Jack Hammer, and today I'm here to help take you guys through a game looking at Tommy Kraemer, right guard out of Notre Dame. The 49ers are definitely a team that are going to be looking for some interior help along the interior of their offensive line. They don't have anybody signed currently beyond 2021 in there. Alex Mack does have a 3-year deal that he just signed, but he's getting up there in age, and with the way that contract is structured, the 49ers have an out where they can get out of that contract after this year. So when you look at their current roster and the setup, you have Colton McKivitz, who played a little bit last year at right guard, but beyond that, there's nobody else that really is around for 2022, most likely. So they're going to be looking for somebody that can be able to play both guard and center, and that's definitely something that Kraemer can bring to the table. So want to go ahead and take a look and show you a prospect that might be able to be there for the 49ers in the mid rounds. Let's go ahead and take a look at his game here against Clemson. This is from the ACC championship game. So pretty good competition. He's the right guard. He's number 78. You see him there. Nice run block to open up the game. They come out. He gets a good push. He's a really good run blocker. Really stout. He's strong. You'll see him. He's right here, just to the left of the right here. You see him blocking number 11. He stands him up. Gets a little bit of push, stands up, and is able to get him out of the way, and they're able to make a little run there. Come back on second down. They can run the ball again here. And you'll see he gets a down block. It's a little bit of help from the tackle. But again, you see a good quick first step. One thing to notice that I noticed as I was watching this is he has a tendency to look where he's going to be going. So that's a little bit of troublesome. That's something that he needs to improve on. You're always going to see guys turning their heads back and forth as the cadence is being called out. But you don't want a guy who's going to be peeking where he's going to be going, because what happens is the linebackers and the safeties and whatnot can eventually start to key on that type of thing. Because if you know he's going to be down blocking, that gives you a really good indication that the ball's going to be going outside of him. Would help those linebackers get over with a faster flow. So as this one rolls, you can kind of see him looking inside. He looks back, but then his head peeks back inside again right before the ball snapped. Let's kind of keep an eye on that as we go through. I did notice it a little bit later as well. I wasn't paying attention to it throughout the entire film. I was trying to get some other notes, but that's just something to keep an eye on. Here we get to see him in pass protection. On this rep, he does a really nice job with getting anchored. That when we get to behind the end zone view, you'll really be able to see it as well. So he is big number 78. He's a big guy. He's played all over the offensive line for Notre Dame. He's played, I think, a little bit of tackle as well. But you see him here. He's able to get a good anchor. I don't know what Book's doing there. He runs himself into trouble instead of finding his man. But really good job by Kraemer there in pass protection, getting a good anchor, not too high, able to meet the guy at his pad level. Quick pass out here to the right side. Kraemer gets a good set. It's a good rep here. You're going to see him. He's got I think it's 13 just inside of him. Does a good job holding his water, and stays nice and low and is able to keep him from getting any kind of pressure on there. Low snap, so a botch snap here ruins the play. It's kind of a bummer because that's one of the few times where you actually get to see Kraemer doing moving. They don't have him doing a lot of pulling. A lot of their stuff is more inline blocking, at least in this contest. Got a quick pass here. Good job. They got a little bit of a twist going on, so he's going to have to move from side to side. You're going to see 59 and I think it's 7 on the outside. So you see a bunch of movement around there, and he's able to do a good job. Keeps his eyes open, and is able to pick up the man that comes around into his spot really well. That's a good pass rep from him. So now we're third down. Another pass play. What you see from him is he has good movement. He's playing inside. On this one, I don't think he really has anybody that he's going to have to to block. Let's watch this one through. They kind of do a little bit of a twist, and once they do that, there's nobody there for him to block. He's just kind of moving around looking for somebody, keeping his eyes up. Gets a little bit of the 22 there, but not a whole lot. But just his ability to move and find guys, and he's not really out of position very often. When we got a run going away from him, let's see, he's got 11 over the top of him. You see him peeking inside a little bit to start with, and the ball ends up going that direction. He's trying to get up to the second level. He shows quickness getting there, but he isn't able to really block anybody. He kind of just whiffs on everybody. Kind of just gets in their way. Doesn't really actually get hands on anybody. So we got second down. Good job here. He's in pass protection. It looks like they're running a little quarterback draw. Just with how quick that Book pulls out of there. Not bad. And third down here. Let's keep an eye on him. He's got a man over him here. And here we just see him he just gets driven back into the quarterback. And this seems to be a thing with Notre Dame offensive linemen. And it's not just him. There's other Notre Dame offensive linemen that are on the 49ers that have this trouble as well. He just plays too high. Look how high he gets on this one. He's almost standing up. So 38's able to get into him, or 98, excuse me, is able to get into him and get up underneath the shoulder pads. Right here, he's got him beat. Even though 98's a little bit higher, you look at his hands. He's got his hands inside. They're able to get in there to his shoulder pads, and he's able to stand him up and drive him back, and just pushes him back into the lap of the quarterback. So not a really good rep, not a terrible rep, but definitely not a good rep on that one. If you're grading him, that's definitely a mark down because he's just a little bit too high. He has that tendency every once in a while to kind of to get his pad level a little up and not really keep his knees bent as well as they should be in pass protection. So that's something to keep an eye on with him as we go through this. So they come back here. This is the next possession. They got a pass play, and there's just nobody there for him to block on this one. So not a whole lot to see here. He's uncovered, or he's covered here, but once everything starts to break down, there's nobody there. You see him looking outside. He thinks that's where he's going to have to go. He steps there. There's nobody there for him to block. So not a whole lot going on that rep. Again, though, with the eyes and the looking, really like to be able to have him see that out of his peripheral vision without having to turn his head as much as he does. Run block here. He does a good job on this one, actually getting to the second level. It gets tackled behind him. You get a little bit of a breakdown on the other side of the line of scrimmage, but he does a pretty good job here. He's going to be able to scoop his man. Let's watch this. He steps. The guy goes out. He gets up to the first guy that he sees, and he's in good position. But you get everything kind of breaking down outside of him to his inside with the center, the left guard, and the left tackle. They all kind of break down. Guys are crossing faces, and so the back's not able to get up into the hole where he's supposed to before he gets tackled. Second down. Not a bad job here of being able to get up and get to the and get his block. It's the run's going away from him, so he's not really having to really drive anybody out. But you're going to see him do a good job here. Let's watch him. He's going to step down. He steps out, drives down. Good job. Now we got 1st and 10. You're going to see this is going to be a run. He's going to actually be doing a down block on the guy just to his inside. It's a good block. They're able to get a nice little stalemate right there. There's no movement in either direction. takes his man out of the play. Not a bad rep here. Let's watch him. He's got 13 is where he's going. He gets into him, and he's able to drive him into the pile and down. Not a bad rep at all. Next one, 2nd and 5. This is going to be another down. He's going to block down again. This is actually where I took note of his eyes, really kind of giving it away. Watch him here. He's looking down. He's looking there the whole way, looking. He's still peeking, really peeking inside. And where does he go? Right down inside there. So everything about that is telling you that the ball's going to the left. If you're that interior linebacker and you're looking at those linemen, keeping your eyes on where they're looking and where they're moving, either taking you right to the ball. Not a bad job here on this pass block. He's doing really well. He's holding his man. Kind of gets tripped up. That's why he goes down. It's not really him. He's not getting run over on this one. Let's watch him. He's doing a pretty good job there. And then as the running back gets knocked down, he knocks him down in the back of his leg and he falls down. Luckily, he's not hurt. That's where all those linemen usually get dinged up. So not a bad rep there. Into that possession, though, let's move on to the next one. 1st and 10. We're going to see 3 plays on this possession, all going to be passes, and let's see how he does. He's got a man right over the top of him. We're looking at the right guard. Oh, maybe I missed one there. And they got a little run out to the left, but he's does a good job of blocking. He's got 59. He does a good job getting him, and he's just getting his hips turned to the hole, to the play side. Not bad. Into the 2nd quarter now, so he's down here on the bottom side of the formation, now number 78 right here. Play action with a boot or a waggle. Not really a hard block to make there because the ball's coming out with the quarterback moving, so he just needs to be able to hold him just long enough for that quarterback to get around him. Does a decent job. Nice throw by the quarterback. This time we got a run out here to the right. He's got a man lined up to nobody's over the top of him. On this one, what ends up happening, this isn't really a good rep. Let's pause this just here. What's going to happen is he's going to help with picking up the man that's to his outside. His job is to kind of help here and then get up to the 2nd level. What we're going to see is this man stunts inside. He kind of holds on a little too long, trying to help the center get engaged before he goes. And what that does is that causes him to be late to get to the 2nd level. And so he misses the linebacker who ends up helping out with the play. Let's roll through it. So there's the step inside. You see him helping with his left hand. That's good, but he holds on too long. He isn't really able to get upfield and square the linebacker up. But by the time he gets to the linebacker, the linebacker's already passed him. He's already been able to flow by him. So he's able to just barely get his hands on him. And the linebacker's able to get in and make a tackle. So on that one, he's just a little bit too late on the help. He's got to get upfield a little bit faster than he does there. So only negative, that's not a good rep there. Definitely something that he needs to improve on. Nice job on this running play here. He's able to get up. He's able to get his man pushed back, and you see him get his hips turned so his butt's towards the hole. Gives a good lane for the running back to get into. Not a bad job. 3rd down. This play starts off nice, but one of the things to watch here, and this is something that I've noticed with him a little bit as we watch his film. I was watching him play a little bit. he has a tendency to kind of stop his feet during the play. And so on this one, you're going to see he does a really good job at the beginning, but you'll notice his feet kind of stop at one point, whereas 11 just keeps pushing through him. 11 keeps going, and Kraemer doesn't, and that's where he gets beat around the edge. Now we got 4th down, 4th and 3, and I'll just keep it here in slow motion for this one. This is a rough rep for Kraemer. He just gets beat to the outside. He's a little high. The man's able to walk him back right into the quarterback, and Book has to escape out to the right. Let's watch this run for the end zone here. Just watch. You're going to see this guy gets upfield, gets up underneath his shoulder pads, and is really able to just drive him right back into the quarterback. It's odd that he's able to get beat so bad, especially since he's starting off in a 3-point stance. But 11's able to get up and underneath him, just stand him up and drive him and push him back. He's not really, because of the leverage on this play with 11 get up underneath his shoulder pads. There's really nothing that Kraemer can do. He's too high. His arms aren't getting out in front of him enough, and 11's beating him to the punch. That's really all that's happening there, and he's standing him up and driving him back, and he's not able to anchor at all. Pushes him right back into the quarterback. Comes back here. Next play is a pass rep again. Better. He doesn't really have anybody one-on-one. He's getting help from the guard here. He does a good job. It's a good rep. Not a whole lot going on, like I said, because what's going to happen is the movement of the defensive line. He ends up pretty much just being helped out by the center. They do a good job of double teaming the defensive tackle, keeping him out of the pocket. On this one, there's not really nobody's over him. He's looking for somewhere to go with the ball, or somewhere to go. Helps out the center a little bit. Meanwhile, the tackle gets beat around the edge. Looking at it from the end zone, you can see he doesn't have anybody. Kind of helps out with the guy in the middle. The tackle gets beat. That's Book's holding on the ball for quite a while there before he has to move. Now we got 3rd and 11. Good job all the way there. Now the quarterback's coming out and scrambling before he gets tackled. This is a situation you hear a lot of times. You know how the offensive line is playing poorly, whatnot, when it really is a matter of the quarterback holding the ball too long. So in this play, I'm just going to roll it back really quick and let's watch it, because what's going to happen is Book's got. I know we're supposed to be looking at the right guard, but just because of the fact that there's a sack here, I want to show you why the sack isn't on the Notre Dame offensive line. You're going to get a flat and a curl combination down here at the bottom of the screen. That's what Book's reading. He's going to hit his back foot. He has the curl wide open, and he doesn't pull the trigger for whatever reason. The flat's covered. That's where he's looking first. The corners jump there, so now he's got the safety on this curl. The linebacker that's underneath this route is 10 yards away, so he's not in the picture. This should be an easy throwing lane from here to here. It's 20 yards downfield. That linebacker's 10 yards in front of the receiver. Even if he's in the passing lane, that's not a guy that should be keeping this ball from being thrown. And for whatever reason, Book doesn't pull the trigger and gets himself caught up in scrambling and gets brought down. But this is a ball that needs to come out. And this is one of those things, if you watched my other videos, I'm pretty high on Mac Jones. And this is a ball, if you replace these two and you put Mac Jones in this situation, I would think that this ball's coming out right now. He's got plenty of time. Look at this pocket that he's given. It's really nice. He's got a curl coming wide open right here. You just got to throw the ball. He holds on to it, and now the offensive line is going to be credited with the sack. That's not their fault. That's part of the reason why Book is not really talked about a whole lot as far as the quarterback prospects, and why you see him as maybe a mid to late round prospect, more towards the end of the draft. He's not anybody that's really, his name's really even brought up. He's a decent quarterback, but just doesn't see the field very well. All right, let's go to the next one. This is 1st and 10 on the next series. This will be a pass. Does a good job in pass protection. He gets some help. Let's watch him here. Big 78 in the middle. They've got some help going on there. And they got the tight end and the running back block in the end. And that's where the play kind of breaks down a little bit. So here we go. We got a run block situation here. And again, he's trying to get to the second level, and he just misses the linebacker. So this is we've seen him do this a couple of times here. You see him, he steps, he gets a little bit of help. His job now is to get up here to this linebacker. So he's got to get that guy in space, and he stops his feet is what happens. He doesn't keep going. Let me just run it through. You'll see him. He kind of gets there where he's almost at the heels of that defensive line, the defensive player number 5. And you're going to see him stop his feet right here. Once he stops his feet, he's gone. He's just got to keep going. He's got to keep attacking that outside shoulder of that linebacker. If he does that, he's gonna make the block. Instead, he stops, and he's waiting for the linebacker to make a play. And the linebacker, once he stops his feet, the linebacker's the guy. He's the more athletic of the two. He's going to make the play, and he does. So we've seen that a couple of times now from Kraemer, where he's struggling with getting to those linebackers and get guys in space like that. And that's something that he'd be asked to do quite a bit with the 49ers. They like to really pull and get those guys moving. And we haven't seen that from him really in this game. They come back here with this pass. Not a bad job. He's pretty good. You know, his guy goes inside. He passes him off, and he keeps his eyes open, and he finds the next guy looping around. That's a good rep right there. Third down, same kind of thing. There's a number of times here where he doesn't really have anybody coming over him, so he's just kind of helping out the guys around him, and that's what we're going to see here. They're showing like they might blitz. They pull out. He just helps the guard with that, still off the middle. Quarterback's able to move a little bit and drop the ball off. And then we got a kneel down here at the end of the half. So fast forward through that. So through the first half of the game, what we've seen is a guy who holds up pretty well in pass protection for the most part. He has a tendency to get a little high. When it comes to the run blocking, he does a really good job when he's got a man over him, or if it's a short area, not having to really get to the second level. You see the ability to get to the second level as far as his speed, but he just isn't doing a very good job of getting up there and really finishing the blocks. He's got to keep going and keep his feet going and take a little bit better angles. Let's see how he does here in the second half. They're going to open up with a run play. It's going to be going outside of him. It's kind of like a jet sweep type of a play. He's able to do it. It does a good job right here of running his feet and getting himself, to kind of scoop that guy up, running his feet and getting him turned. That's a good job. That's one of the one of the best plays we've seen from him so far, with actually having to move. Follows that up with a good pass rep right here. They have a little bit of a twist going on out there. So his guy's going to the outside, and they got the other guy looping around, and it does a really good job of passing off. And once his guy goes out, looking for the next guy that's coming in, keeping his head open, boom, goes away, picks up the next guy. That's a really good rep. That's something that we saw the 49ers struggle with in 2020. Part of that could have been the fact that they had a backup center going, so they weren't really getting the calls very well. but that's something that we saw anyway from them with some struggles. And then he follows that nice rep up with this one. This is a bad one. He ends up just getting trucked here, but I'm going to slow this one down from the end zone. Let's watch it. Let's watch it twice. Let's just watch it in full motion. And he just gets run over. Now, part of the reason though, when we roll this one back, I'm going to pause it really quick. Let me slow it down. As we watch this play, watch his right foot. And what happens here? I'll probably stop it in the middle of it. So he starts to step. He's stepping out because that's where the guy's coming from. But as you see right here, as he starts to get engaged, his right foot is getting crossed up with the right tackle. This is his foot right here, actually, and that's why he's getting tripped. He actually gets tripped over his own tackle. Him stepping out to pick that guy up, the tackle stepping in, they get their feet crossed up, and that's why he goes down. He's not able to anchor at all because his foot is locked there. So it's not a good rep. Definitely not a good rep, but that's part of it. Is you've got this. Just watch their feet again right here without me stopping it. Step. He steps back. His foot gets caught. He gets run over. So at first glance, it looks like he just got beat and just totally run over. He does get run over, but part of the reason is because he's tripped up by that tackle. So not a good rep, but not something that you're really going to be super alarmed about either, or that you should be super alarmed about. Because we don't really see that from him at any other time. You see him get pushed back from time to time. We saw that already in this game a couple of times, but you don't see him get knocked down like that. You don't really see him get thrown around. Good run push here. He's able to drive that guy downfield a couple of yards. Let's watch it. Gets a little bit of help from the tackle. They're able to drive that guy out of there, and the back's able to just fall right into that hole for about 5 yards. So quick little throw out here to the left, good pass protection. One thing that I notice on here is watch Book too on this one. We watch it from the end zone angle. The block, we'll look at it twice. Let's watch the guard first. He does a good job. You got a lot of movement going on. Not a whole lot going. A lot of movement. He doesn't really get engaged with anybody, but he does a decent job there. Let's look at Book though here. Look at his. What I want you to look at is look at his leg, that front leg. That thing's locked. That's not a really good throwing position. Your front leg, you're driving off your back foot onto your front leg, but that front leg has to have some knee bend, and that's really not. It's pretty locked in place. That's not, that's part of his problem is his lower half. That ball comes out and it just kind of it's behind him. So, just another thing on Book as to why he is where he is when it comes to the draft. It's a name we hear every once in a while be brought up by some fans. A little bootleg action. Has the tight end open, number 24, a little bit late. He kind of gets caught up with the linebacker. Good job by Kraemer though on his doing his job. We would have liked to see Book go to that dragging tight end down the field for a better gain. Run blocking here, stepping down, and there's just a big pile of bodies that are getting pushed back. Slow it down just a tad. See, he does a good job, gets into him, and he starts stepping down. At this point, he's just pushing. Would have been nice for him to have his eyes upfield and see that guy coming from the, see what's happening around him. He kind of gets into the pile, and he doesn't. It's almost like he loses his vision. Boom, boom. He gets up here, and nobody's able to block the. If he had his eyes up, he might have been able to go over to pick up that. I think it's a cornerback that comes over and makes the play. Not a bad play, but you'd like to see him have his eyes up and maybe be able to come off of that pile and help out. Yeah, there's. Third down, we've got a passer up. Here you see him do a really good job. He really has good pad level with his shoulders, good knee bend, just good balance overall, good movement. Quarterback's not able to find anybody. He scrambles, and then you get a bad uh, block right there. You can't do that on those comeback blocks like that anymore. Taking that out of the game. Let's watch Kraemer here. Just does a good job. He's able to get there. His shoulders are his pad level's down. His knees are bent. He's got much better posture on that one than you see on some of his other reps. At least the ones, especially the ones where he was kind of getting driven back. So a little inconsistent on that. If he could do that on a regular basis, I think he'd be able to really step up and be a much better pass protector. That's kind of the one spot in his game that's one of the two that's that areas that he really needs to improve on. Another good rep here in pass protection on a deep out throw. Good job by Kraemer there and the Notre Dame offensive line. We got him here. Clemson's taking a little while to line up. He jumped down right before the ball snapped. Good job. It's a nice little stalemate. Doesn't give up any ground, and plenty of room for Book to make that throw. Here we got a nice run rep. We're able to see him actually get upfield, and he's actually on this one. He's able to get upfield, and this is one of the few times we're able to see him square up the guy at the second level. Good job stepping down. He keeps his feet moving. That's the other part of it too. He doesn't stop his feet. He continues attacking that right shoulder of the linebacker. Does a good job squaring him up. That was a good rep there. Come back on the next down. Pass protection. Good again. Quarterback gets pressure from the other side and has to take off. But this is a good rep by Kraemer. You see him here right in the middle, just to the right of the center. Boom. He's able to help with the tackle and then come back inside and work on in the middle. So really good job. He's on this one. That's a good rep. You see him moving around a lot. You like to see that kind of movement from your guards. That's one of the things that those interior guys really have to be able to move, and all the linemen have to move, but especially on at that guard position with the twist and everything, you've got to be able to step and catch the next guy and be in position. With the tackle, you're not necessarily doing that quite as often. Another good rep there. Fourth and 6. Another pass play coming up. And again, you see good movement out of Kraemer here. Let's pause it and slow it down just a tad. Just want you to be able to see just the quick feed and hand movement that he's able to do. He's able to quick hit. He goes outside. He's able to recognize what's going on pretty quick and disengage and pick up the blitzer coming from the outside. Let's watch it. Inside, excuse me. He sees him going. He knows at that point it's no longer his responsibility. You can see he gets his eyes in on this blitzer. The running back's already got his eyes there too. So between the two of them, they're going to be able to step up and do a solid job of keeping that guy out of the play. Really good job. They have a penalty in the backfield from somebody else that messes it up though, and so they lose that possession. Now we go into the fourth quarter. Clemson is doing a good job with their movement. They're doing a lot of twists and stunts and those kind of things, and so you're able to puts a lot of pressure on those on those offensive linemen, and you're going to see that here again. Let's watch Kraemer right here. Steps down, gets that guy out of the way, picks up the next, pushes him around. So, they get a little bit of pressure, but that's pretty good considering all the movement that's going on with those three guys. Not a bad rep there. 2nd and 4, you're going to see a nice down block here. fumble. The Clemson defensive tackle slanting inside, which makes this block a little bit easier for Kraemer. He already wants to take him that way anyway, but as you see, they stunned across, and that even helps him out a little bit. He's able to the momentum's already going there. He's able to take advantage of that momentum of the defender and just continue to wash him out of the play. So good job there. Brings up 3rd and 5. Got a pass play coming up. A good rep here on this one as well. He's able to do a good job and keep that. Doesn't really give up a whole lot of ground, and he's able to push it, pass him off outside. Let's watch here. That's a good job. First and 10. Got a little stunt. Does a good job of helping pick that up. Good protection for the quarterback, who just makes a terrible throw down the field. But a good job of pass protection here from Kraemer. Again, here he is right here to the center, to the right center. His guy goes out. He's able to pick up the next guy stunning around from the outside, loop it in. Does a good job picking him up. The center is able to help out a little bit. Book has plenty of time to get that ball off and just makes a bad throw. Again, more of the same. Does a good job of anchoring. Doesn't give up any ground once they're together there. Once they get engaged, that's a good job. Boom. Nice quick hands, quick feet. Really like what this guy, really like what he can do. There's definitely some things to work with that he needs to work on. He's not a super, polished product, but he's pretty darn good, and somebody that if you can get, towards the end of those mid to late rounds, get him in there working with the offensive line coach a little bit, could really be developed into something special. At least a starter, maybe not something that's going, into a starting caliber guard or center. Man on, you see him really here, just really be able to anchor. He's 33, he's not able to get any kind of a pass rush on him, and he's able to stand him up right at the line of scrimmage. Does a good job there. 2nd and 10 now. Yeah, nothing really going on here. Nobody to block. Fast forward through the second one. First and 10. This is an interesting one. It's one of the few times you don't, where you see him having to go. They're actually running a double screen. They're running screens to both sides. Quarterback, I'm not sure if they've decided, if it's been called pre-snap by the coach that he's going to be thrown to the left and then run the other side, or if the quarterback's making the decision on which side he wants to work once, he's at the line of scrimmage. But you got screens to both sides. You can see Kraemer here doing a good job getting out in space. He's going to be helping block this guy because that's the only thing that's out there. But the ball's gone the other way, so everybody's flowing. So he ends up not actually getting there. But what I like about it is you actually get to see him moving a little bit, having to get out, and get out in space, get out on a screen. It's one of the few times we see him do that in this game. That's something he's going to be called upon to do if he was a part of the 49ers. They do like their screen game, and so he'd be able to move and find guys in space like that. Here on the run, we got a good push from that whole side of the right side of the offensive line, and they're able to get in the end zone for a touchdown. Let's watch him here. Kraemer, you got a double team. They're just getting great push out of everybody over there. Kraemer is one of them. Back's able to get up into the hole and follow that wall, break off, and score a touchdown. Little down block, double teaming here. going to be a double team with the center, and they just able to drive 33 down. Not much of a run there. 2nd and 9. Ball's coming out quick. He doesn't have anybody to block. Watch here. Boom. You see it real quick. So another pass play here. They got the blitzer coming, and it's kind of a little bit of a twist there. But they got the guys. They're having to move, so it's a good pass off. Let's watch this one. You're going to get a blitzing. I think you're going to get a blitzer here with this guy stunning inside. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. That's a good job by both of those guys over there to be able to work that little quick, against that quick game, and good protection right there. Again, another good job in pass protection, good anchoring. He's going against a. Let's watch it here. He's got 78. And they're just double team at 53. He has no chance against the two of them. This next pass play, he ends up blocking nobody. So we'll just fast forward through that one. They don't have anybody coming to him. Right here, you see him. He's looking for something to pick up. Kind of helps the center out late. 3rd and 8. Again, you get a twist going on. Does a good job of driving his guy out to the tackle. The tackle's guy's looping back inside and picking him up. So really good little protection here. Follows him out. His eyes pick up the twist. Yeah, that's a good job. And they drop the snap here. Second to last offensive play. This is a good rep by him. He does a good job here. This is a winning rep. He's going to get a guy up on him, and he just does a good job of setting his feet, able to anchor out, and his hands are up inside of the defensive tackle's shoulder pads, and you can see him have in good position and able to stand him up. And then final play of the game. He gets driven back a little bit here as the play rolls on. Again, what we see on this one is similar to what we've seen from him when he struggles. He gets a little high every once in a while, and the defender is able to get up and get his hands up into his shoulder, underneath his shoulder pads, which is really allows him to help stand him up. Let's watch him here. See the handwork where he's able to get his hands up into his shoulders. That's the problem, right, that he has here is the defensive tackle has worked his hands inside, and at that point he's kind of got him beat because he's able to just work his shoulders, and by getting his hands there and driving up through his shoulder pads, he's able to stand him up. And once he gets him stood up, there's no leverage for Kraemer to be able to anchor at all. So good job by the defensive tackle of being able to get his hands up inside. Kraemer just got to be able to beat him to the punch, and that's it. And they get a sack on this one. And that's the end of the game. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Basically, what my takeaways from watching Kraemer a couple of his games now and choosing to do this one, he's definitely a strong run blocker. He gets a really good push repeatedly, which is nice. One of the things with his run blocking, though, that I'd like to see him improve on is ability to move and get up to the second level. We don't see them asking him to do that a whole lot here in this game. Definitely something that he's going to have to be able to do better at the next level. The other thing too, and I pointed that out early, and you see it kind of periodically throughout the game, is that sometimes he's peeking where he's going to be going, and that's just giving up what's the play to the defensive to the linebackers and defensive backs if they're able to start to key on that and recognize it. Where he's looking is where he's going, and that'll help set up the defense to be able to explode into the play faster. So that's him as a run blocker. On his pass blocking, definitely needs some work there. He gets high too often, just, and part of the reason he's getting high is that his arms he's not able to get good hand placement. And so he's allowing people to get into his frame, and and they're just able to stand him up, and that point he loses his anchor. So definitely something for him to work on there. He does have good footwork, though. You're able to see him do a good job of moving inside and out. He does have quick hands when he's able to get them on there. So he has a good punch. He just needs to be able to be the first guy to the punch. We see him when he's got his shoulders down and a good posture. We're able to see him really anchor really well, and just stop guys in their tracks on that pass rush. So, overall, not a bad player. There's definitely some things that you can work with. I characterize Kraemer as a developmental guy who can eventually be a starter, maybe as early as the second part of the season, if not his second season. I would say look for Kraemer to come off the board probably somewhere around the 5th round, maybe late 4th or 5th. And he's a guy that you could play either at guard or center. He's a little bit big for center, but I think he'd still be able to do the job. I think with some of his skills would translate to being able to play that center position. So we know that the 49ers like offensive linemen out of Notre Dame. So this might be a name for everybody to keep their eye on as we go through this draft process, and let's see if the 49ers actually meet with him before the draft. It's something to keep an eye on. So hope you all enjoyed it. Please, if you aren't already a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel so you can catch all the different material that I'll be putting out moving forward. And then once the season starts, there'll be a lot of material on the 49ers as well. So thank you again very much, and look forward to talking to you soon.